Hi, I'm the Zen Mommy, and I'm here to help you with your spiritual awakening, ascension, and healing of the mind, body, and soul. And today, let's see what we want to talk about today. I had a couple of topics come to my mind, so I'm trying to choose one right now, and I haven't chosen. Um, but one topic was a question. My subscribers had asked a question about, or they wanted me to know what my take on telepathy was, telepathic communication. So, and I'm sorry it took so long for me to get to this. You have to understand, like, I just awakened 13 months ago myself. I just happened when I awakened, I just hit the ground running, started this YouTube channel, learned how to access my higher self, and realized that part of my soul mission in life is this awakening and helping others. And so sometimes when I get a subject, sometimes I'm not ready for it, but then I'll go through experiences, or my mind will uncover some memories from things I went through in my life that actually relates directly to the subject. So that's the same with telepathy. Okay, so telepathy is basically telepathic communication, and guess what? I got the actual the Google definition. It is the supposed communication of thoughts, ideas by means other than the known senses. So it's like thought transference, or like some way to magically read minds and communicate with each other, right? Well, it's not all that magical. It's actually quite very common when you really think about it. Even before you awaken, you'll notice plenty of times where you've experienced telepathy or telepathic communication. So I remember when my daughter was young in grade school, elementary, I remember always, like, there were certain days that I just would feel her like she needed me, and I would show up at the school early. I'll pick her up for lunch or get her early, and I'll be like, I felt your message. I would tell her that, and she was like, you got it. And like we had this little telepathic thing going on. Well, I remember once I went away on a trip for a church convention in South Carolina, and I was gone for a few days, and I had to get a babysitter. Well, one of the days, the person that I got that was caring for her while I was away forgot to pick her up from school. I had no idea that she was like at the school. They couldn't find me. They were almost about to call CPS because no one picked up my daughter. And I remember I was out there in South Carolina, and I was driving with one of my friends, and all of a sudden I just felt sick to my stomach. I was like something is so wrong. And the first thing I thought about was my daughter. I was just like, something's wrong. There's something wrong with my daughter. She's not okay. There's something wrong. And I felt it so strongly. And I was just like, it just came on like this sickness. And then I found out she was left at school for hours, and the principal didn't want to call CPS. They wanted to take her home, but they finally, the thing is, I gave an emergency contact list to the school, so I didn't just like have no other backup plan, but the teacher put it away somewhere and no one could find it. And they were like, oh, your daughter's so smart. She just said, just let me in the classroom. I know exactly where it is. And she got it. And she was fine. But that was the strongest I had ever felt before my awakening of a telepathic communication. Okay, so next instance of me experiencing telepathic communication with another person. Well, this is going to be not so much a verbal type of communication. So now when you're talking about telepathy, we're talking about energy, okay? We're talking about the energy generated from one person to another that is felt by one or both of these people. Like one person might be expressing a certain energy, and you just start to bring in that vibration and feel it. Well, in this incident, it was sexual energy. Okay, so a friend of mine I was helping, um, I felt, I felt, when someone is attracted to you, and you'll feel it. That's a form of telepathic communication. People call it vibes, right? Well, I knew they were attracted to, and I was just coming into my telepathic abilities, and I almost knew that the conversations he was having about me with other people. Well, one night, one night, I had, I was, okay, I was, One night I was at home and I just started to feel sexual energy, and it was pretty intense, and it wasn't my own energy. And I was just like, what? I couldn't figure out what was going on, right? And see, the thing about telepathic, when you're a telepath, even an empath, when you pick up on stuff like that, if you go, like if you can hear people's thoughts, which I know that I can, but the thing is, you pick up the things that they would never admit to. So if you go to someone and say, oh my God, it's just like it gets to the point where you hear some terrible things, or you think that, with me, I think that it's my mind be like, no, I'm just overselling it. I remember one time, let me finish that situation, that question, that before I go off into another story. So I was just feeling this sexual energy, and I was just like, I don't know. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, is this me? But I felt the vibration, and I felt like I knew who it was coming from. But I didn't know how to tell them, look, your thoughts are inappropriate about me. Please it's respect my integrity. And I didn't know how to bring it up. And I wasn't even sure if I was telepathic. And I didn't, how if you really hear something, people will deny it and try to make you feel like you're crazy. So I came to him and I said, guess what? I think I'm telepathic. He was like, he's all telepathic. You can, he's like, you can hear. He said, well, I need to admit some things to you. Boom. I didn't know for sure that if it was me or not. But at that point, when I said, I think I'm telepathic, he admitted to me, yeah, that those thoughts were happening. And I was just like, look, can you kind of like control it? Because like I'm picking up on it so strongly, right? And so, anyways, the other time is I was invited to this church by a friend of mine. And so I went to the church, and his baby's mama, or mother of his, I don't like the term baby's mama, but the mother of his child was there. And like soon as she saw me, like I felt all this energy that she thought something was going on between us. And I almost wanted to say, honey, it's okay, there's nothing there. I've been in this situation and I would never do that to you. I really wanted to say that, but like, is it appropriate for me to say that? Is it like assuming, right? And so the other incidents of telepathic communication is feeling like emotions. And this could be an empathic thing, but an empath is a telepath. Okay, so if you can feel emotions and vibrations, you can pick up on energy and you can pick up on thoughts. Okay, so an empath is a telepath. And so I was with my friend, and I was hanging out with him, and I was conducting. I have got this set of oracle cards, and I was like, let me try you out, right? I lit some candles and trying to see if I can do this, right? And as I'm doing it, right, I start feeling this overwhelming vibration of this love, not the like a blissful, like somebody's falling in love, like type of feeling, like, oh, I feel like I'm falling in love. But why was I feeling that way? And I realized at the time there was this guy that was interested in me. And like it got to the point, I guess it was to the point where he was starting to like deeply think about me and started to like fall. And I was just like, oh my God, it was so intense. I was like, I really felt those feelings. I knew they were not my feelings. And then afterwards, I was just like, afterwards I talked to him. I was just like, were you thinking about me around this time? He was like, yeah. I was just like, oh. I was just like, it's too soon to be falling in love with me. And he was like, yeah, I know. And he just knew, right? And then there was this one time, another telepathic thing. This will also happen when I was dating the last guy I was with. We were having a disagreement about something that we were both upset about, and I was at home, and the next morning I felt him so strongly. Like, what? I was like, what does he want? Is something wrong, right? And then 2 seconds later, a text message came in with this whole letter of how his feelings and how he felt, and I was just like, wow. And then incidents later, actually, like maybe a couple of weeks ago, same thing happened, but this time it was a little different. I felt a vibration hit my door, like wind or something, right? Like somebody was It looked like, sounded like somebody was at the door trying to come in, or not. It could have been wind. But when that vibration hit my door, I heard his name, my ex-boyfriend's name came to my head, and I was just like, I thought somebody, like, you can feel when someone is coming up to your door if they're about to come in your house. Like, if you're sensitive enough, you'll feel that. And I felt it was him at my door, but I went to the door, nobody was at my door. Then I turned around at my phone, I got a whole message from that person. And so see that this is an energetic vibration. This telepathic communication is something that exists in all of us. It's something that we all can tap into. And if you think about it, you have tapped into it. All it takes is being sensitive to the energy around you, to the people around you, to the vibrations around you. It takes quieting the ego some. It takes to getting out of your own ego and kind of like just being open. Just letting your silent power rise, and see, when you are in your silent power, it speaks to you. You can hear things, you can pick up on sounds, you can pick up on vibrations, you can pick up on thoughts. And so there's my journey into telepathic communication. And I hope that this helped anybody along their way, or gave them some insight, or just found it amusing to watch me. Okay, thank you for watching. Peace and love. Namaste.